8 coaching definitions. I'm going to be reading them out and giving my thoughts on them for the benefit, particularly, of anyone who's receiving this as an audio, not as a video. So here you are, from the University of Salford, a supportive and purposeful conversation in the workplace. Its purpose to support someone to explore their thoughts, actions, and responses to situations with a view to changing those that don't work and strengthening those that do. I like this because it emphasizes the purpose of the conversation. And I particularly like the emphasis on changing practices that don't work, strengthening those that do. Coaching isn't about doing everything differently. It's about saying, hey, what's working? Let's make that better. It's also about reviewing things that maybe, to the painful realization of the coached person, aren't working at all. So coaching should be about challenging, saying, when did this last work? Is this worth pursuing? Do you want to stick with this? And ultimately, the person being coached is the best judge of this, not the person who's doing the coaching. So the next one comes from the Association for Coaching. I have tried to select these carefully from credible sources. And the Association for Coaching define coaching as a collaborative, solution-focused, results-oriented and systematic process in which the coach facilitates the enhancement of work performance, life experience, self-directed learning, and personal growth of the coachee. I don't like the last word, by the way. I prefer coaching client than coachee, but there's an awful lot here, isn't there? Collaborative, solution-focused. I like that. It's not just a chat and not just a natter. It's about resolving things, it's about making things better. It's results oriented, and so it should be. Systematic, not just haphazard. There's a purpose, it's planned, it should have outcomes. Yes, there should be a degree of organic interaction within that, but it should have a structure, and it should be about enhancing work performance. Life experience, why not? Because part of life is work, and it's not the whole part for a lot of people. And it's about self-directed learning, personal growth. There's a lot in here. Well done, Association for Coaching. Next up, the International Coaching Foundation, or Federation as it's sometimes known, partnering with clients in a thought-provoking and creative process that inspires them to maximize their personal and professional potential. The process of coaching often unlocks previously untapped sources of imagination, productivity, and leadership. Well, ICF, what you got here? Partnering. I like the partnering word to start with, because it is about working with, not working for, or only being a passive role as a coach. So partnering with clients, a thought-provoking and creative process. I wonder if that's sufficiently the case in as many coaching interactions as should be the case. Yes, it should, in my view, be thought-provoking and creative. The process of coaching often unlocks previously untapped sources of imagination, productivity, and leadership. Yes, it does, and more besides. The deeper and more interestingly you delve into the issues of the coached client, the more untapped sources of potential emerge and should be worked upon, in my view. Next up, European Mentoring and Coaching Council, EMCC, a professionally guided process that inspires clients to maximize their personal and professional potential. It is a structured, purposeful, and transformational process, helping clients to see and test alternative ways of improvement of competence, decision-making, and enhancement of quality of life. Again, a lot in here. I'll go back to the first part. Professionally guided. That's interesting, because what does it take to be a professional? We haven't got time for that here today, but I would say not purely passing exams. A lot of people who pass exams don't act professionally. A lot of people who haven't passed exams or aren't members of professional bodies behave as better professionals than people who call themselves that because they passed exams. So we can have that argument another time, but it is a professionally guided process. In other words, there's an implication here that is guided by somebody who is competent, who is capable, and is doing it for a body of knowledge. It inspires clients to maximize their personal and professional potential. It should be an inspirational process, but not to the detriment of being driven by the coaching client. This isn't the professional person inspiring by talking all the time or telling stories about themselves. It's inspiring by facilitation and by getting the coaching client to drive the process. It is a structured, purposeful, and transformational process. Now that's bigging it up. It can't always be transformational, but why not aspire for it to be? So who's next up? We have the Chartered Institute of Personal Development, my own beloved body. Excuse me. Coaching is about developing a person's skills and knowledge so that their job performance improves, hopefully leading to the achievement of organizational objectives. It targets high performance and improvement at work, although it may also have an impact on an individual's private life. It usually lasts for a short period and focuses on specific skills and goals. I could pick apart some of this. I don't like the hopefully word. Coaching is about developing a person's skills and knowledge so that their job performance improves, hopefully leading to the achievement of organizational objectives. I think it always should. And I think it should always strive to. And I think it hopefully weakens that. I think coaching should be focused entirely about improving performance and improving, in turn, organizational impact. And otherwise, what is it? It's therapy, and therapy has its purpose, but coaching is more, it is about targeting high performance. It is about improvement at work, and so should it be, to the point where there ought to be a positive, hoped for and expected outcome that's positive, not just a hopeful. So the Welsh Government, hey, here's a good one, a confidential, first time we've heard that word, one-to-one relationship in which an individual uses the skills of a coach to work through issues in a structured way to find an outcome or solution. I like that. It is a protected, I like that too, non-judgmental, or like even more, relationship, which facilitates a wide range of learning, experimentation, and development. It is built on mutual regard, trust, and respect. Fair play. There's an awful lot in a relatively few words here. I like the confidential word for starters. It's kind of assumed up to now, but this is the first explicit mention of it, a confidential one-to-one relationship. One-to-one relationships, interesting. And I think so it should be, in which an individual uses the skills of a coach, and the skills of a coach could be to take a relatively passive, facilitative, giving time to think, there's a Nancy Klein reference, skill, rather than the skill of talking all the time and telling stories. A protected, non-judgmental relationship. Yes, sometimes I find, being honest, it hard not to be judgmental. Oh, why does this person say that? Oh, that's wrong. Or that doesn't fit what you said before. We've got to park that. We've got to help people in a confidential and protected way. I like this one, built on mutual regard, trust, and respect. Without mutual regard, trust, and respect, how can this have the results you hope for? Who's next? We have Sir John Whitmore, the late Sir John Whitmore. Regrettably now, people get older, people die. Coaching, he says, means unlocking a person's potential to maximize their own performance. It is helping people to learn rather than teaching them. I've been using the helping people to learn maxim, if you like, for 40 odd years since I picked it up from my then mentor. So coaching means unlocking a person's potential. That's what it's about, to maximize their own performance, back onto performance as we should be. It is helping people to learn rather than teaching them. It is about getting people to guide their own learning rather than telling them things. We have the NHS London Leadership Academy. Coaching is a way of having conversations with someone else that are safe, supporting, and challenging. It can be a thought-provoking and creative process and will help you to maximize your personal and professional potential. Not the first time we've heard the words personal and professional potential. It is about seeing the person in the workplace in the context of a wider context, that of life, domestics, and all around that. So it starts with coaching as a way of having conversations with someone else, other than yourself, though we can self-coach, that are safe, back into protection space again, supporting and challenging. I like that challenging word. First time I think we've seen that explicitly. It can be a thought-provoking, seen that before, and creative process, again, the imagination, and will help you to maximize your personal and professional potential. All of these point to a process which, led by the coached person, I don't use the word coachee, lead to them improving performance, not necessarily instantly, but over a period of time, and for that performance to impact significantly on the organization in which they're a part. So there you go. I hope that was useful. I've put a slide up at the end for viewers that show where you can get more on this, including these thoughts in different formats, slides, summary notes, whatever. I hope that helps. Always happy to hear from people if that's what you want to do, and to have a conversation with me about this or anything relating to it, because I like those sorts of things.